Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 42 today and we are back with a fresh trim because we, as the title suggests, have got a job offer. I haven't 100% decided whether I'm going to accept it yet. It's tempting. It's a big move. It's a move out of Scotland. It's something we've obviously been working towards. We've worked our way through the Scottish leagues. We've put in a real good effort to get to where we are. And Scotland's given us a lot. We've got to be fair. The rise we've had has been quicker than any head coach, and that's because of Scottish football. The success we've had, the major trophy in Season 3, European football in Season 4, all because of Scotland. However, this might be a chance I have to take. So if you're looking forward to this one, finding out who it is, whether we take the job, and if so, meeting our new club, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. A big one coming up tomorrow in the Bangor City Builder Nation, a massive European tie there as we try to make progress in that save. And of course, whether we leave Hibernian or not, the Scottish football is still going strong on the channel because we'll have 2 live streams a week from Dundee United. There's links to all the playlists in the eye above as well as the podcast channel. But let's go and take a look at our last result here because it could have been our final game and it finished with success. As you can see, we're in second place just behind Celtic on goal difference, ahead of Rangers, ahead of Dundee United who ran us so close last year, miles clear of our former club Dundee. And our final game at the club, if it is to be so, was a 2-0 win at home to Livingston. Bogus, a player who's been a superstar since we joined here, he got the first early on in the game. And then Kevin Nisbet, who's not just been a young superstar, he's been a goal machine. 8 goals in 11 this season, scored plenty at the back end of last year, and he's now a regular for Scotland. It's a brilliant testament to our management and to his skills, and he's one of the players I've most enjoyed working with in this save. He's been absolutely brilliant. But of course we have got to contemplate job offers. If we go and have a look at the staffing and the job centre, we'd applied for a few championship jobs, as you can see, Brentford, Derby and Fulham. We chose those above the Pompey and Bristol City ones because of bigger budgets, bigger finances, better squads and generally higher place finishes in recent years. So if we look at Brentford as an example, they finished 4th last year, 9th the year before that. If we look at Derby, they finished 8th 2 years ago, 9th the previous year. Both rich and both ready to spend money. And Fulham, finances rich, a good squad. In the top half the last 2 years but slightly underperforming. But a very good side nonetheless. They've still got a lot of quality there from their Premier League side, and they've brought in a bit more afterwards. But as you can see, we're not favourites for any of those 3 jobs. However, one of them have offered us the role. So does anyone want to have a guess at which one? No cheating. Let me know down in the comments, and we'll go and take a look in a minute and see who's right. We did go for the Dortmund one as well. As we suspected, we were never getting that. But Brentford, Derby, Fulham, 3 good opportunities. Brentford in the top half at the moment, probably the lesser finances, the lesser facilities, no youth academy, no youth recruitment. The other 2, sleeping giants, right down at the bottom end of the championship. So let's go and take a look, shall we? If you've got your guesses in down below, we'll see how many of you are right. You can of course react yourselves to let me know whether you're right or wrong. But we leave Hibs in a great place. We've given them European football again. We've given them a 3rd place finish. But unfortunately, we've just fallen foul on the big nights. The young boys tie in Europe last year, the Fenerbahce playoff this year, the Cup semi-finals, it's all gone wrong. But we've done a good job. And now, we get to have a look at who wants us. If we go and have a look at our profile very quickly, because when we're factoring in whether to take a job or not, as we're going for our A licence, we've got nearly a 3-star reputation, we've got a contract for a year and a half here on £7,000 a week. So we've got to think about that side as well. We're going to see if that's going to get top for us and whether the opportunity is too good to refuse. Don't forget, Hibernian, a 3-star reputation club, secure finances, Europa Conference football. The squad have all got new contracts with minimum fee releases, so we're likely to lose a lot of them. So let's see who the job offer is, shall we? Here's the moment of truth. Derby County have approached us. And this is why it's too good to refuse, I think. It's the same star reputation club, 3-star at the moment. They've still got Mel Morris in charge as chairman, which if we were still thinking real life-wise, we'd be concerned about some of the off-the-pitch stuff. But Derby County, they've been in the top half for the last 3 years. They're rich, they've got a good reputation like Hibernian, they've got the ability to bring through quality players, they've got great facilities, they've got a massive stadium, Pride Park's a brilliant ground. They've got a £42.5 million transfer budget, nearly £1 million a week wage bill, and most importantly on a personal level, a £21,000 a week wage. 3 times our current wage. The opportunity to make a life-changing amount of money, just as it was when Hibs offered the job and we were at Dundee. This season, we've only got to finish mid-table. We've got to reach the 4th round of the FA Cup. That's getting through one round, essentially. Sign players to sell for a profit, develop youngsters through the club, and play entertaining football. Everything talks to what I want to do. With 42 million, even a poor director of football can do a job. I wonder if they've got one already, actually. I haven't had a look. They haven't. I don't think they have anyway. Doesn't look like there's one there. So that's something that's going to be important. But they've still got Liam Rossignol. They've still got Shay Given, Darren Wassell. Lots of quality in that club. Justin Walker's still there too. Joe McLaren, who I'm guessing is Steve's son because he'd gone for the same clubs along the way. I think there's a lot of potential in this club. If we have a brief look at the squad, we'll take a look at the players if we join, of course. But looking at the wages, it's not astronomical at the moment. I'm wondering where all the money's from. They've got Matty Cash, who we know is a good player, Carl Darlow, Ben Pearson, experienced pros. Jonathan Lecco I had in a podcast save last year, he's a good player. Matt Clark's there in real life, Bielik as well. It's a good squad, a lot of them around their sort of peak age, and it should be a chance for us to take them up the league. So I think we're going to accept this offer. Let me know in the comments what you think. We want to grow the club's reputation, get them up towards the top half, get them back towards the playoffs. And I just feel like with the finances available personally and as a club, we can take this team to the next level. So Derby County, I think our first move out of Scotland. A club I've never managed before in the history of this series. And a good 5-year plan which fits with what I want to do. So let's start the negotiations. We're just going to see if we can get it up a little bit. I'm going to go for about 22.5. They're offering us the same length of contract as Hibs currently are. So we've got that bit of security. We know the Championship's volatile. We can lose our job very quickly. However, we also know that the payout's going to be massive here because £21,000 a week is no mean feat and it's been increased by another £500. £21,500 every week at Derby as a wage and a contract for almost 2 years. It is an offer we cannot refuse. So we finalise it, we take the Derby job, we are off to the EFL Championship. We bid farewell to Hibernian and Scottish football which has been so great for us and our 5th club will be our first one out of Scotland. We'll be back in a minute to meet Derby County. And here we are, photographers at the ready. Questions as to why we might have changed job given our previous standing at our former club. Paul Hurst was the favourite. We saw Graham Potter was linked with it. He was the bookies' favourite. But for us, they pay nearly £1 million. They really want us here. And we have got to do something special at this club. Hopefully, we'll be able to do so. We currently join the side in 20th place. But when you see the table, you'll understand why I'm not worried about that. And we match the club's philosophy. We've had it at previous clubs. We've worked with a lot of young players. And after Brechin, Arbroath, Dundee and Hibernian, we move down south and we go to Derby. Let's go and get into our first day. Let's get through the introductory messages. A big step up in terms of the quality of facilities. A 33,500 capacity stadium. Excellent training facilities. Great youth facilities. Good youth recruitment. The media predict this squad to finish 7th. They finished 9th last year. I'd like to hope we can get them back to the top half. Now, it's got a narrow diamond here. I wonder if that's because that was the tactic we were playing formerly, or is that the one they play? We'll have to look and see what they've been using. Something I didn't think to do, actually. If we go through to the next screen, let's see what else we've got. Some good players in that Derby side. We know the club culture, of course, it very much matches what we want to do. High reputation players, youth system players alongside them, and entertaining football. It's exactly what we want. We want players on long contracts. We want to build a team. And Mel Morris, for his reputation in real life, is starting to talk to me here. What I've got to hope is that he doesn't break his promises. Because if he does what he says on the tin, we could be a match made in heaven here. So the first question is who was the previous manager? Because I can't see anything stating that. So if we go and have a look at Derby County's manager history, we are taking over from Gary Bowyer, sacked after 2.5 years. Previously Lee Johnson, Gary Bowyer again as caretaker, and Philip Cocu obviously at the start of the game. We're playing the original patch before Wayne Rooney took over, of course. We've got players in the last year of their contract, including some good experienced one. I didn't even notice Kiefer Moore was there. Lacardia, the former Brighton man. There's a few experienced players. Adam Reach, good championship pros. And surely they'll get us up the league. I don't think we're promotion quality, but I think we're certainly better than 20th. Lots of breakthrough prospects. We'll give them a chance later on. We're going to talk to the boys though. We're going to say we want to finish mid-table. We're going to say the 4th round of the FA Cup. We'll deal with the tactical instructions in a minute. We'll deal with all the backroom advice. but it's time to meet our new club. Our staff and our players are what we're here for. We'll go and set the responsibilities after, get our chairman to find a director of football, a technical director if they wish to have one, but it's all about the staff and the players that are here. We've got our first game, I think, just in a few days' time. Birmingham at home next up. 6 without a win for the club, just 1 point out of those games. And I'm going to get to play my beloved Luton Town, aren't I? They won 3-0 against them the first day of the season, and we'll be playing them, I'd imagine, somewhere towards the end. We've got them on Boxing Day. So I tell you what, after our first game next episode, Luton will be the next one. I can assure you of that. The club I support, of course, despite the disaster we had in FM in the Christmas series, that's going to be a cracker. But let's go and meet the staff, let's go and meet the squad, because that's what you're all waiting for. Derby County, the first move outside of Scotland, and hopefully some cracking people to work with. So let's go through the key staff. You know the sort of people we're looking at. Darren Wassell, the head of youth development, is key, and you can't get much better than that. He's 56 years of age on £2,000 a week. He's a stunning coach. He's got brilliant judgment and he's got a brilliant personality, devoted. He is the man, a Derby legend we would love to see here, getting in some brilliant youth players and some brilliant players for the future. Shay Given is the goalkeeping coach, Premier League legend, brilliant player for Ireland and a fantastic personality and coaching attributes again. Absolutely brilliant. 2 fitness coaches. Steve Haynes, very good at what he does but not so great mentally. And Shane Nicholson, probably a bit more of a balanced one between the areas. Good coach, good mentally, nothing stands out. In terms of senior coaches, we've got Liam Rowe Senior, who's very solid at what he does. Justin Walker, much the same, very good motivator, great working with youngsters. Was previously involved in the youth setup before Koku came in. So I think that's going to make a difference to us. Head performance analysis, very good Ben Warner. Head physio, Robin Sadler, perfect at his job. And then let's have a look at the scouting team as well. We've got the chief scout, Joe McLaren, who's solid. Despite being Steve's son and for whatever reason he got the job, he's very good at what he does. Jared Nash is okay. Harry Croft, very good. Jason Piercy, the under-23 keeper coach, he's been promoted to the first team in real life. And he looks good at what he does as well. Pat Lyons, the under-23 manager, exceptional. And the under-18 manager, Adam Robinson, very good and very fitness-based. So of course we've got to rely on our chairman to get a director of football and then him to potentially get an assistant manager and some more coaches and scouts. But there's a good base there. I'm pretty happy with what we've got. Before we go and look at the first team, the bank balance is absolutely flying. The development centre is full of talented youngsters. Jensen Weir, a good one, 2.5-star ability, 3-star potential. And then that selection of those who are a bit younger, not quite as good to start with, but massive, massive potential across the board. A lot of work to be done with some of them off the pitch, but potentially we could have a fantastic squad. But the final thing we're going to do today as we go through the dynamics is look at our first team squad, because that's always the exciting bit of a new club. The managerial support's not bad actually, considering we've not managed in England before, we've not got that reputation. The atmosphere's pretty good, the support's pretty good. The wages are big, but they're not astronomical. So let's get these boys in reports order and in position order and see what's expected of them, shall we? This is the bit we can get excited about. So of the 3 keepers, Carl Darlow and Nathan Trott, the 2 we recognised immediately, but Marcin Bolka is the best one. Currently playing over at PSG, he's a really good young keeper and he's become a good one now. At 25 years of age, 3.5-star ability, excellent in the air, solid at the rest of the stuff, and a very good kicker of the ball as well. 6'6", commanding figure, he's going to be a good goalkeeper for us. Carl Darlow at 34, just getting over the cliff physically, but otherwise still a very solid number 2. He's on $34,000 a week on a long contract. I'm not quite sure that's good for the club, and he's not done well when he's played this season, but he's good enough as a backup, as is Nathan Trott, not quite as good, but a solid number 3. On a much lower wage, we'll take it. Onto defence, you can see it's a bit more of an ageing back 4. A lot of them are around a sort of 27, 28, 29, 30 age. Let's start with those who are listed as right backs. So we have got, Matty Cash isn't. We'll have a look at him after. Jamie Hansen, been at the club his whole career, I think. Or has he just come back? No, he's come back after a spell away. He's a right back with 3-star ability. He's a solid squad player. I wouldn't fancy him as a starter in either of his natural roles, but I'd certainly have him as a backup in both. A good versatile squad member and a very good player. Had a lot of problems with injuries earlier in his career. Still got a little one at the moment. But he'll be a member of the squad, and we've got no problem with him being here. The other right back listed is Jordan Brown, 2.5-star ability, 3.5 potential. Again, naturally a holding midfielder and centre midfielder too. but very solid. Not quite quick enough to be a fullback in my side, not quite attacking enough, but a professional personality and another good squad player. We'll take it. No one listed directly as a left back, but Messina listed as a left wing back. Can play naturally at left back too. 30 years of age, formerly of Watford, Bologna and Swansea in game as well. 3.5 star ability, 3.5 potential. A natural wing back, suits us to a T. And although he's very experienced, he will definitely be a starter for us. Only started 2 games this season. I'm starting to wonder why. Maybe it's injury, because I can't see any good reason aside from that. Let's run through the defenders quickly. 3.5 star ability for Matt Clark. 28 years of age, been here from the start. Nearly 200 league appearances. A very solid defender, commanding in the air. And he's got plenty of quality. He'll be a starter for us. Alongside him, Christian Bielik. 26 years of age, 6 caps for Poland. Not quite as quick, maybe a natural holding midfielder. But still a very good player. A towering figure again. If we can find a long throw specialist here, we might be in luck. He's still got a bit of potential to grow into as well. The backup centre-half's Darragh Lenihan. He's 30 years of age. A very solid player, a great personality, a model pro. Will help some of those youngsters immensely. Just going over the hill now, he's played a lot of games this season, but I think he'll be more of a backup squad player and someone we rely on in the dressing room. Dominic Hyam's the other one. Again, 3-star ability, 3-star potential. I'd argue looking at him, he's the weakest of the 4, but still a very good championship player. We cannot complain. If we go through some of the other stars that could be defensive players, Matty Cash is a natural right back and right winger. I think he's going to be a right back for us. He's got 3.5 star ability, 4-star potential. I'm not sold on either of the others we've got. I know he's not quite so good in the tackle, but loads of games for Villa, loads of games for Forest. He's a good player at this level and at Premier League level. We've got to give him a chance. He'll be our starting right back. And the other 2 listed that can play at the back, Archie Brown, who is a left back naturally who can play left wing, has been starting ahead of Messina this year. I'm not sure why. 2.5 ability, 3.5 potential. And for now, he'll be our backup left back. A good solid young Englishman. And the final one's Adam Reach. More naturally a midfielder off the right wing, centre mid or left wing back. We know he's got quality. We know he scores the odd screamer. He's transfer listed, but he'll do in the squad. 2.5 star ability. And again, fairly flexible, fairly versatile, and can help us out in a number of positions. A good start so far. Into midfield, the positions are going to be interesting, because the narrow diamonds were suggested, but there's loads of wingers here. So let's get through the holding midfielders. Ben Pearson, 3-star ability, 3-star potential. Solid midfielder, earning loads of money. I'm not quite sure why. He's not played that well this season, but we'll try and find a role that suits him. I think he'll be a good player for us. Played for Palace, Sheffield United and of course Preston. And he's going to be a good squad member too. Max Bird, 3.5 star ability, 4-star potential. A Derby player through and through, out of the academy, a quality player. Not quite the most mobile, so we might want to focus on him as a holding midfielder. But he's a very good player. Capped at under 20 level for England, and he's going to offer us plenty. Alongside him, Jason Knight, a centre mid or attacking midfielder. 4-star ability, 4-star potential. 41 caps and 6 goals for Ireland at a tender age of 23. And one of the few players with an average rating above a 7 this year. A quality player, really strong mentally, and he's got all the attributes to be a superstar. Now, a familiar name on the left-hand side. Morgan Whittaker, 3.5 star ability and potential. Where was it I had him? Was it at Dorking or in the head coach one year? I'm not sure. Let me know down in the comments. A brilliant player. He can play left wing, right wing and up front. He's got quality on the wing. He can cut in from the right and he can do a job up front as well. So if we play with wingers, Morgan Whittaker, another youth academy player, 175 appearances, 32 goals, could be a good answer for us. On the right, Robert Apter, 2-star ability, 3-star potential. He's going to be dropped to the reserves. He's not good enough and he's certainly not going to be involved in the first team squad. Jurgen Lacardia is out long term, I think. 3 to 7 weeks for his broken foot. Just dropping off the hill physically, but he can do a job up front, he can do a job off the left. He'll be a good squad addition as well, although I don't think he's got a work permit. He hasn't. Yakambash, a former Brighton player, 2.5 star ability. My word, has he dipped physically. Still got a good personality, still got a bit of quality, but he's nowhere near the player he was. He's not going to play much for me. He'll be one we use off the bench if anything. Even Sanchez, a right winger, 32 years of age, not very good. Well over the hill physically again. So I kind of see why they're suggesting no wingers, because all of the ones at the club are poor, and the best 3 midfielders we've looked at are all of the centre mids. So I kind of understand it. 6 more to go, and here are the highly rated wingers. Can they play anywhere else, or will they force our tactic? It's Jacob Hall who's first, 20 years of age, 3.5 star ability, 5 star potential. He's a natural right winger. He's very good. He's out of the academy, played nearly 50 games, and he's definitely going to start for me. Whether it's right of a 4 or on the wing of a 5 or a 3, he is definitely involved. Jacob Hall is forcing us to play with wingers. That means we've got Morgan Whittaker in shape as well. We could still play 1 up front and 3 in the middle. There's plenty to be decided yet. I suppose with Cash and Messina, we could even play a back 5. We've got good enough defenders to do so. Jonathan Lecco's a good solid squad player. 3 star ability, 4 star potential. 25 years of age, can play up front as well. He's played 15 games from the start this season. I'm not sure he'll be starting for me, but he'll definitely be involved in the squad. A very solid pro, just got to keep him free of injuries. Arvin Appiah, the last rated midfielder, a left winger with 3.5 star ability. He's actually a natural right winger and striker. He's probably better off the right. I wouldn't say he's as good as Whittaker or as Hall, but he's definitely a good player. Looks like he joined in the summer as a squad player, a natural off the bench for us. Came through at Forest, the rivals, played for the likes of Barnsley, Almeria and Elche, and he's going to be a good squad pro. Quality off the bench, electric quick, and hopefully will be one of our key game changers. So I think as it stands, we're going with 4-3-3. I'm a bit worried about the lack of depth in midfield, but of course we've got those 2 defenders who can play there, so I'm not immediately concerned. What I am worried about is only 1 striker under 32. Callum Morton is that man. He's a very good, quick striker in behind, 3.5 ability, 4 star potential. Joined from West Brom in the summer by the looks of it, on big money and deserves it. Only scored 2 goals so far this year. I'll be interested to see if he's playing up front. He's a decent finisher, he works hard and he's electric quick. Got good movement, good stamina. He's got everything that should make him a success. He's played for England under 21, scoring 2 in 1, which is a stunning record. I think he's going to be my starting striker. We've got target men off the bench if we need to go to and throw at a game. Kiefer Moore has still got a lot of quality. 1 in 3 for Wales. He's still a good player. Not really featured this year, but I think he'll be one of my stars off the bench. And alongside him, John Guidetti, much the same. Off the bench, we've got good target men, but Callum Morton's my starter. Of course, we said about centre midfield, we can promote Jensen Weir, who's 2.5 star ability. I certainly think it's a side that should be mid-table or top half, and if we look at the table, you'll see why I've suggested that. We're in 20th place on 16 points, 1 behind my beloved Luton Town, but if we get 8 points up, we're up to 7th place. We're only 3 points off Forest, our rivals in 13th, 4 off the top half, albeit we're only 2 from relegation. It's a very tight league, as the Championship always is. The top 6 do risk running away with it at the moment, but aside from that, I think we'll be top half or mid-table no problem. We've got a good squad, we've got good quality, and I look forward to our first 2 games. We'll decide on a tactic, but I think it will be wingers at the ready again. Probably a 4-3-3, maybe a back 3, but we'll be back next time to find out. And we start with just about the biggest episode you could have with Derby. Yes, Birmingham at home is the first game. They are currently 9th in the league, one of the sides we're chasing. Our second game in charge in just 8 days' time is the big derby. It is Derby County v Nottingham Forest, and we'll see that next time. So if you are looking forward to it, enjoying the series, and you enjoyed our big move, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Back in England for the first time in our career, and what a way to start it. If you're a Derby fan just coming along, thank you for joining, and I hope I can make you proud next time. It's going to be a big episode, it's going to be an important one, but I feel we've got a squad that can make a difference. So we're going to look at the tactics next time, we're going to play those 2 big games. If you want to make sure you don't miss it, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases from 2 long-term stories. A big one in Europe with Bangor City tomorrow in the Build a Nation save, and then the derby against Nottingham Forest next time. What a clash it's going to be, what a moment it is. Let me know what you think of us moving to England and what you think of Derby County's potential. But a massive thank you for watching, for supporting as always. Links to all the playlists and the podcast in the eye above. Championship predictions every match day there. You can see what we think of Derby in real life. And a big thanks for watching. I'll see you next time as we face Nottingham Forest. What a welcome to Derby County it's going to be. I'll see you there.